It's so amazing. Now it's been almost, say, 28 years since I'm flying. You won't believe it. Even when we're at the takeoff point, we are so fascinated to see takeoffs and landings till date. Flying keeps me grounded. That's a word I always use, because this is my reality.
Manjeet, you're a commander and trainer with Air India, which is such a challenging job. What is the biggest struggle of that?
The hardest thing? I would say the timings.
Really?
Yeah. The odd timings, because I fly the domestic routes. So there are certain times we have flights at 5 a.m. or the flight we fly at 10 p.m., like 10 in the night, and we land back at 6 a.m. So you're flying the whole night. So we actually leave the house when everybody's sleeping, and when we come back, everybody's sleeping, So I find that a difficult part, adjusting, because it takes a toll on your health also sometimes.
But Manjeet, you didn't start out as a pilot. You started out as an air hostess. Yes. And then in 1989, you went and got trained in the US as a pilot. And I mean, I can't imagine at that time there were many female pilots. What made you take this leap?
First of all, I didn't even know ladies could fly, because we used to see, my dad was in the army, so we used to see a lot of Air Force pilots around wherever we went. So it was a dream to marry a pilot. So it was never a dream to be a pilot. So when I joined as an air hostess in '86, I met a lady pilot, or rather I saw a lady pilot for the first time. That was Captain Saudamani Deshmukh. That was, oh wow, women can fly. That was the first reaction. I joined in '86 as an air hostess. I think after 6 months, I realized, I need to move on, do something else. And those days, Udaan serial used to come, if you remember, Kavita Chaudhary's. So I was very fascinated by the serial, and IPS officers struggling in the field of men. So I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to challenge myself. Clueless what I want to do. So it was, believe me, an overnight decision to be a pilot. I went to my friend's house, and she was also aspiring to be a pilot. And she's saying, let's do flying. And she gave me a form to fill. And she said, you need a gazetted officer's signature. I came home. I told my brother, I need to fill this form. I need a gazetted officer's signature. He didn't ask me a single question. He said, okay, it'll be done. Got the form filled that was for RT exam, radio and telephony. I gave the exam. I cleared the exam. Then I informed my folks at home, guys, I've been doing this. I've cleared all the exams. Now I'm going for flying.
And Manjeet, when you were actually, for the first time, sitting in that cockpit and looking at that insane number of dials and whatever else is out there, did you not have a moment of panic? Like, what was I thinking?
See, I'll tell you, flying, you're talking about the big planes.
The big ones, yeah.
I'll tell you about the smaller plane. First, we do 250 hours in the small plane. That I was in USA. So what happens is, first you fly, say, around 25, 30 hours in a plane with the instructor.
But you took to it instantly.
Yes, it just happened, and everything worked out, I would say. Because the money, we didn't have any money. I had to take loans. Then somebody even gave me a donation of 50,000 rupees. And my brother, he sold his bike. It was 4 lakhs that time. So I accumulated all that money and went. And when I went to USA for flying, I flew 25 hours with the instructor, and one fine day it was a solo flight. So that feeling, I can recollect the moment right now, what it was. You're going all alone without an instructor. And I remember that feeling was something like, something that I can't even explain right now, And when I landed back, I called up my mother. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. And I said, I got my first solo flight. They were clueless. They said, what kya hota hai? So that was a moment. And then you're talking about the moment when we come back, then we train ourselves into a big plane. So I started flying on the Boeings first, Boeing 737. But, Anu, I would say, if a doctor, now we wonder how does he know about so many diseases and medicines. And whatever you're trained, because we're trained for 6 months. And you become very comfortable with the instruments.
Manjeet, we're all in our jobs for what? For something. We're all seeking something out of our work. What are you in it for?
I'm in it for my love for flying. And I also think flying keeps me grounded.
How does it do that?
Flying keeps me grounded because, you see, I would say now, okay, things have changed, got married to Raju, Then he was just an editor when I got married to him. Then he started making his films. So my pilot friends do ask me, why the hell are you flying?
Right.
You should be, wearing designer clothes and I don't know what's a...
And going to Bollywood parties.
Yeah. I said, no, but I'm enjoying myself, And it keeps me grounded. That's a word I always use, Because this is my reality. I've started my profession with this and I'm continuing with it.
But Manjeet, has it been hard, given that Rajkumar Hirani is one of the most successful filmmakers in the country? Has it been hard for you to carve out your own identity?
Not really.
Do you even think about these things?
Never. Because I feel when I got married to him, I was flying. I was a pilot. And post, he became a successful director. I'm still flying. I'm still the same.
I read that when you were just starting out, and it was your first solo flight, you actually got caught in a thunderstorm and the windshield of the plane cracked. How do you deal with that kind of pressure when there's hundreds of people on that flight and their lives depend on your decisions?
It was actually in 2005. I was just new in command. And I was taking off from Calcutta. And it was very, very bad weather that day. We got caught up in thunderstorm and hailstorm. So both the windshields cracked. So the first reaction is, of course, even you would be scared. Let's be honest about it, But then, of course, we took a decision to come back to Calcutta. That moment, of course, believe me, Anu, I said to myself, I'll land back and resign from the job.
Really?
Yeah. But however, me and my co-pilot, we landed safely. It was a very bad day, that particular day. There were 17 people who died on the ground because of lightning strike. It was one of the bad days and the radar had conked off at Calcutta. I've realized the aircraft is a beautiful machine and you have to stay calm. Because that day I realized I have a lot of respect for the aircraft. I must say that.
Manjeet, in addition to, of course, handling this amazing career and your family, you have a son, you're also a writer. Your first book was published earlier in the year. How do you find time, first of all, to write? And what does this writing give you?
It started actually just 2 years back. I started writing blogs. See, I'll tell you what happens when you have 2 children, so you'll understand. Because when the children are small, they need a lot of your time. So I'm done with all that because my son is 19 now. So I would say it's flying and your family, after a point, everything is taken care of. It's like on autopilot. Even you don't have to tell at home now what to cook, So you have spare time with you. All of us have that. So I started writing blogs and I wrote a couple of blogs on my dog. And I gave the idea to Penguin. And Buddy. Here's the book.
Yes, How to Be Human.
How to Be Human. This is the book. And Penguin loved the idea. And they said, I told them I have 10 chapters. They said, okay, give us another 10 chapters. So total 20 chapters. And this is how the book came about.
Tell me, I know you're a fan of philosophy. So are there any sort of mantras that you live by?
3 mantras. My 3 mantras, which I follow all the time. And I feel everybody should follow that. First is to be a constant seeker. A constant seeker, what I mean to say is don't just stop with one thing. If you have achieved one thing, it's not your full stop. After a time, you have to move ahead. So keep constant seeker till the end. Then to be a constant seeker, you have to take action. Because I know a lot of my friends, I love doing this, I love doing that, I wish I could do this. So I feel if you want to do something, you have to take action. And
there's no point seeking without action.
Yes. No point seeking, and you won't get anything.
You'll just be seeking.
Right. And the third one is, I think you have to go and explore. Absolutely, because I see some people, they just live a very limited life. I think life is just beyond that, you have to be an explorer. Life, I feel, has so much to offer. So there are no full stops.
Absolutely agreed. Manjeet, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.